Welcome to another episode of Fresh Off the Set. I'm Carrie Hawker Diaz.
And I'm David Osmond. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Okay, I'm excited for this one because you and Burke have gone back like for a long, long time.
Yeah, in the most random way. And I'm just such a fan of who he is as an artist, but also as a person. Like the kindest guy, Burke Louis. Just a cool dude. He's actually guest hosted on Fresh Living in my stead before.
Yeah, he has.
He just has that personality and it's so much fun.
I think he probably has the best hair in the business as well.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I've got hair envy for sure. But such a fun personality. Beyond that, he's got this rocking voice. I mean, as a music artist, he's been performing and singing a long time and has gone through different iterations of different bands. From back in the day when he was even doing almost like a death metal, just a rockin' gritty sound, to what Allbrook Station is now. So this band, they just launched officially. Allbrook Station had a launch concert with a whole new sound. They are awesome. They're doing such a great job, and I think they've got a lot in sight in their scopes for some great success. And Utah came out and supported him, and I hope they continue to do so. But we dive into a little bit about his story, his background, and even his mother-in-law, Tammy, joins us in conversation to give a little bit inside scoop from her perspective. Brand new dad. He's got a little girl named Noah, his wife,
She's
Sam.
so cute.
Just a really cool story, but I think just an awesome personality and a person. So thank you for listening to this and taking a stroll down the music road of his life, and then supporting this Allbrook Station band. I think you guys are going to love it.
Yeah, sure. Excited to get to know him a little bit better. Should we give it a listen?
Let's go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Fresh Off the Set. I'm David Osmond. So glad you joined us today. I'm thrilled today to introduce you to somebody, if you haven't met him before or heard about him. He's a good buddy of mine. We've known each other for many years. Burke Louis is the lead singer of the brand new band, Allbrook Station. They're taking the world by storm. Their music is incredible. If you haven't heard them, go check them out on all streaming platforms. Allbrook Station has just a very unique blend of hip-hop and rock and pop. And I'm going to let him explain his genre because it's very unique and niche to them. But welcome to Fresh Off the Set, Burke Louis. How you doing, buddy?
David Osmond. Hey. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you got that growl, that grit.
That, yeah.
Dude, I love it because you have that voice where you grew up doing music so long, your whole life, and it's more of that rock, grit, yell, but you've fine-tuned your sound. You've really put your dues in, and now you're at this place where you're rocking it with Allbrook Station. How's everything going?
Good, man. And it's more of that grovel in the morning, It's early.
You put that British accent on.
Yeah, put a little bit in there. I'm like, the world exists before 10 a.m. That's crazy to me. I'm like, wow.
You're such a rock star.
I know. It's so funny. Every time people are like for rehearsals, they're like, "Hey, can we do one at 12?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's kind of early, guys." They're like, early. Yeah. Most of us have been up for 7 hours already, and I'm like, "Yikes!" I'm like, I've been up for maybe a half an hour.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you're here. Your mother-in-law, Tammy's here watching, just observing. I mean, that comes with the territory. She just got to keep you in check. Make sure
does.
You don't
She's
burn
the
the place down.
She's the boss.
I got to make sure his hair's in place.
Okay. It takes an entourage.
It takes a lot to keep this man looking the way he does.
You're a hair and makeup and choreographer and just mentor.
She hits me if I say bad things, or she'll hit me. Don't say that.
Good. Everybody needs a Tammy in their life. We do. For sure.
I will say, out of all the mother-in-laws I could possibly have, this is my favorite. She is the best.
Awesome. And your wife, Sam, your daughter, Noah.
Yeah.
Like you've got so many cool things happening in your world now. But I wanted to go back, and for our audience listening, maybe they don't know you, where Allbrook Station is now taken off. How did you get here? I mean, the seat where you're in right now, doing this music, you've come a long way as a musician, a music artist. How did you start this journey?
Well, because it's you, I will give you the inside scoop, because I sometimes omit certain parts because I'm just like, I just don't feel like talking about it. But I moved to Utah back in 2019. And I started as a singer-songwriter under the name Ofi. And that's how you and I met.
O-F-I.
O-F-I.
Which means awesome in
Panama.
language.
In Panama, yeah. So I served my mission out in Panama. And out there, they say Ofi like legit. Or like, I'm down to do something. So if you're like, hey, Burke, let's go get some food, I'd say Ofi. It's
cool.
like, yeah, cool, let's do it, you know. Or if something was really cool, they'd be like, Ophi, you know. And so for me, it was a cool name, 3 letters. It was easy. But I didn't realize this because I was on quote unquote indie label that said, don't worry, you know, we got everything, we got the trademark, got the look.
No.
So we basically get a cease and desist of, this is our name. You can't use this name as an artist. And I had already put a couple years into that.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. And so I was just like, oh no, I really liked that name. And then fortunately, things didn't work out with that label or with that producer, and I kind of just got to start fresh, you know, some fresh living of my own, if you will.
Yeah.
Like that.
Hey. That's got to be so frustrating, man, after all that work.
Oh, it was just hard. It was a letdown. It was a disappointment.
That's when you're like, oh, fee.
Yeah. Oh,
fee.
Yeah. Not the other direction. Yeah.
Oh, fee.
Yeah.
No, that's a great name, but it's really what stands the test of time is the voice, the music, the talent. That's what's going to carry on.
For sure.
Even after building that big brand, you still have that following, a big fan base, but they're all seeing this new phase of what Allbrook Station is doing. So you start out that way. You start as a music artist.
100% a solo.
Yeah.
And then as I started recording, you know, I love drums and guitars and bass and even orchestra. And so after a while, I'm like, I can't do all this by myself. You know, and I love band. I grew up with bands. You know, I've got older brothers. They put me on Metallica, Megadeth, Def Leppard, and then my sisters were into Mariah Carey and Prince and Michael Jackson. So I grew up. You've heard of those guys, right?
Oh, yeah. I didn't get as far into the heavy hard rock side. I appreciated it.
It was a
and
little
there's
too much
artistry there, but yeah, I didn't quite have the voice to go screaming every night like you do. Like I don't know how you guys do it. Mad respect though.
Foo Fighters was the guy that Dave Grohl. It was the one where I was like, okay, and Linkin Park. I was like, I can do it. I was like, okay, I can do it. I mean, so in building Allbrook Station, it was like, okay, I know what I want to do, but screaming for me wasn't as fun. You know, I was losing my voice after every other night, and it was just painful. And then somebody, a good friend, producer, was like, you know, you could just sing. And I was like, oh.
Controlled yelling.
Yeah, I was like, interesting. So I don't have to do that. And they're like, no, let's do it. And so then I started singing, and I was like, oh, this is way easier. I like this. And I was getting a better reception from it, from fans. And so.
And you can still turn on that grit.
Oh, yeah.
To get that flair.
Flair. It's now it's not a one trick pony. It's like, okay, we can do the intimate and really cool, pretty, and then the pop, but then there's rock and it's power, you know, similar to like a Louis Capaldi or Chris Stapleton or a Dave Grohl, Linkin Park, where it's like, okay, the intensity matches the music at the right time. Yeah. And so I wanted something mainstream. I wanted something that Tammy or my father-in-law would listen to, or something that my daughter would show her friends and be like, this is my dad, you know, this is us. And so I ended up getting a band. There's 5 of us now, and it's just a lot. Oh man, it's just polished. It's polished rock, and I feel like that genre is making such a huge comeback right now.
It's huge resurgence.
Huge.
And not just the music that stands for itself, but also you guys are showmen. Like you put on a great show. Yeah. So as you come, it's an entertaining, it's an experience. As you go and do these shows, what has that been like for the audiences that are coming out to experience Allbrook Station now?
Well, I will say a nod to you, my good friend, David, Mr. Osman. When we did those cruises back in the day, you kind of helped me see with your shows. And then, you know, the piano guys were there too. And I'm watching because it was a trio at that time as Ophi the band trio. Yeah. And it was more of just like a get up there and let's get through the 10 songs. But there was no polish. There was no like beats. There was no talking to the audience. It was just on the fly the whole time, right? Yeah. But then watching you work and talking to you, it was like, hey, you know, you got what it takes. This should be a show. It should be a journey. You know, it should be choreographed. You should know the lines. And I was like, but that's cheating. You know, it's like, it's got to. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, that's what the pros do. So now these shows have been curated that way, that they are polished. And it's not to say that it's robotic or anything, because, you know, we take as things come, but it should be a show, you know? Yeah. When you go see a movie, there's not mistakes. Bloopers are at the end. You know, it's like, oh, this is the finished film. And so for our shows, it's unique because the energy's there. The audience interaction is there. We're big on audience interaction.
And you can, and that's going to be improv, unexpected moments anyway. Yeah. But you have like your quiver of arrows, you have the ABC, and you know your room, you know your audience, and you just kind of like you are creating on the fly at the same time. You can prepare for everything, and everything goes different than you expect. And that's what live music and live shows are all about. But as you have the bones and the structure of what you know, it makes a great arc, a great experience. Because that's what you deliver.
We want people to come. One, I know rock. Some people there's 2 things I'm pretty passionate about with rock music. One, when you hear rock band or a rock show, I feel like especially maybe here in Utah, it's kind of like what kind of rock is it going to be? You know, it's like, is it going to be crazy? Is it going to be, I feel like it's a misnomer. Like rock and roll was emotion. It was big. I mean, think of Journey. That's rock music.
Yeah.
You know, Nickelback and Imagine Dragons. It's like, for us, it was emotional. And that's what I wanted, because we're all going through something. I don't care who you are, you're going through something. And with rock music, I feel like you get to express yourself in such a fun, free, liberating way that maybe you don't get with other genres. And so for us, it was that. Second thing I'd say is, usually when you hear a new band, you know, we had that brand new debut show back at Soundwell back in August. And it was like, okay, it's a new band. Usually when you hear new band or my buddy's band, what do you think? Okay, there's probably going to be some mistakes. They haven't figured it out. You think new as inexperienced.
Yeah.
And so what we're offering now is like, no, we're new to you. That's it. But this is like, we're an experienced band. All of us have been performing for years.
Yeah.
And this is now the vehicle that we're showing you. Like, we want to show you what we've been doing for the last couple of years. And now we're finally ready.
So going from Ophi with the trio and your bandmates in that group to where you got a five top now. You're five. Tell me about the other band members in the group and who plays what role.
So when like I said, starting off solo, I was writing my own songs, and then I worked with a producer, and then we got a call from Charlie Colleen, rest in peace, from the band Train. He wrote Calling All Angels and helped with Drops of Jupiter and all that. Called me and was like, hey, we saw you perform at Sundance. We'd like to get you on this movie that we're doing with Taika Waititi. And I was like, awesome.
Heck yeah.
What do I got to do? And he goes, do you have an album? And I was like, sure. And I did it. I was like, yeah, we got one. When do you need it by? He's like, in 2 weeks. And I was like, okay. So then I called Jesse. And this is like right before COVID hit. Like really bad. So it's like January. It's like it hadn't even hit really hard yet. But I called him and I was like, dude, we need to write like 50 plus songs. And so I told him the scenario, what was going on. And he's like, come through, let's write. And I had always trusted Jesse. In fact, Allbrook Station was named after the bus station where Jesse and I met in Panama.
Oh, wow.
So it was
there
like,
you go.
That's where we met.
That's cool.
Right? Much better than Ophi. Like Ophi was cool and it's still a nod to Panama, but Allbrook Station was an even better one because it was like, that's where we met, was at this bus station.
That's cool.
So I go to Jesse's house and we're writing for like, 2 weeks together, and we just wrote a bunch of songs. In fact, Sharpshooter, we released that a little while ago. That was one of the first songs we finished together, was Sharpshooter. And Crown, actually, were some of the first ones. Chimerical and Bad Dream were some of the last ones that we finished in this whole writing session over 2 years. But I was like, dude, I need your help with an album. So we started writing. And then that movie and things with Charlie went south, and it just didn't work out. It's the movie industry and business and music. You've been there.
That never happened.
Yeah. It was just so disheartening at first. Like, I thought I had my big break. And I'm starting to realize like, they're big breakings. It's like, it's not just one. It's like a culmination of everything that you do, right?
Yeah.
Some luck, some skill, some friends, some networking, some money, some all this stuff, right? And so Jesse and I started writing, and then I formed that trio, included Jesse, included Nate Smeeting, our drummer.
Yeah.
Drums with Gentry and a couple other bands. I just saw him drum and I was like, I need you, dude. I need you to drum for me.
Yeah.
Become the greatest rock band drummer ever. And so he was like, all right, I'm in. And then we met Randy Slaw through our mutual friend, Dan Clark. Clark actually introduced me to Randy.
Oh, cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, because I called him and I said, hey, you guys know a lot of people. You know a lot of people. And he was like, yeah, let me introduce you to Randy Slaw. And so we met, and it was me, Jesse, and Nate. And Randy just could speak the language. He knew what we wanted. And then after we produced everything, he's sending the songs off to some industry professionals to be like, hey, what do you guys think about this new band that I'm with? Yeah. They loved us, but one of the comments was, oh, this is a 3-piece? I can't wait to see how they pull this off live. And that scared me because I was like, oh yeah, how do we? Because it's big, dude. We had a 30-piece orchestra. I mean, you're in Crown, Tammy's in Crown. Like we had an ensemble, a choir in that, and so it's like, how do we pull that off as a trio? And so Randy ended up joining the band as a guitarist because I was like, I need help on guitar. I play guitar and sing, but I need a lead. And then we had Frank Zoo, DJ, sampling to bring it to life. Allbrook Station is a big cinematic sound.
Cool.
And so that's the 5-piece.
Nice. Well, you've put so much heart and your soul into this. This is your passion. This is your dream. This is everything you've been shooting for your whole life. This is, are you living your best life?
I always say, I think about death every single day. Not in a morbid way, not in a like fixated on it, but I think, man, if today was my last day, and I really do think about this. I wake up and I'm like, all right, if today's my last day. Am I spending it with people that I love? Am I doing what I love? And do the people that I love know how much I love them? Do they know?
Yeah.
You know, at my funeral, is my daughter going to get up there and say, my dad was my hero? He was the best guy I've ever met. There's nobody like my dad.
Yeah.
Is my wife going to say, I was fortunate to have been loved by Burke? You know, is my mother-in-law going to say, out of all my kids, he's my favorite? You know?
And did he do the dishes?
Did he do the dishes?
Time.
On time.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
I think you got to get home soon and
go
get to that sink.
Exactly. But I think about that all the time of like, what am I doing today? Am I proud of it? Am I proud? And then when I go to bed,
Cool.
I'm like, all right, man, I had a great day. I spent it with people I love. You know, because at the end of the day, like, that's it. There are more important things than music, but I'm like, this is my way to leave a legacy. This is my way to help the earth.
You can't take a U-Haul to heaven with all the stuff. And the fame fades. It's just gone. At the end of the day, it is about those relationships, those people closest to you. And being able to do what you love and love what you do along the way is awesome. I love that you're doing what you've been born to do as a musician, as an artist. The life experiences that you've had, which, because it hasn't been easy, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, that all feeds into the content of your music. What are your songs targeted? Like, what's your focus? Is it all across the board? And you have a lot of experience that goes into that, the hardships you've gone through, the beauty, the joys, the highs, the lows. What is this album, this latest album? What's the crux of it? What's the overarch?
So the album releases, I believe, next spring, and it's called All We Have Is Pain. And at first, it was kind of a weird title, but it's in our main single that will be released in January. It's a song called Venom. And Venom, it was one of those songs that we wrote in 10 minutes or less. And it was just like, that's it. That's the one. This is the one. Here we go, right?
Yeah.
And in the chorus, that line is all we have is pain. And so for an album, I was like, is pain a bad thing? And you taught me that Chinese proverb that I love. You know, the kid falls off the horse, breaks his leg, but then the next day the draft, and it's like, is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? Right? You know?
Yeah.
I love that. And that was kind of all we have is pain. Is pain a bad thing? And you think about it, and it's like, well, who decides if pain is good or if pain is bad? Right? And so I'm like, for me, I love that I've gone through pain. Obviously, if I could, look, my child being born, I watched my wife give birth, and the pain that she was going through gave me the greatest gift I've ever had in my life. Tammy giving birth to Sam gave me my wife. And so I'm like, of this pain came the greatest things ever, right? And you could get spiritual with it. You can get whatever you want with it. But for me, I was like, pain is a great teacher. And if you respect it, it's like you learn, you learn a ton. And so for us, when we're writing, we take those experiences of pain where I'm like, hey, if I'm writing this song for my daughter and she goes through a breakup, how do I help her get over it? Or if her best friend passes away, which who hasn't been there?
You appreciate the moments of joy so much more when you've had those deepest, darkest moments of sorrow.
Yes.
The loss gives you the appreciation for when you have. Pain is inevitable.
Yep.
It comes to all of us, different degrees, different intensities. I've learned, at least through that message, that despite the fact that pain's inevitable, suffering, I believe, is optional. And it's that perspective. It's appreciation for whatever you have been given. Not what you can't do, but what you still can do.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, think about, like I mentioned earlier, when things went south and things didn't work out. We've had a couple deals offered to us that, okay, this is our big break, some 7 figures. And it was like, this is our big break. And then they don't go through. And it just felt like, oh, we failed. And I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like all those things happen for my betterment, for me to improve. And so when we're writing these songs, that's what I think about. I'm like, hey, I want to tell the story of pain, but it's always got to be triumphant. Because who wants to just sit through sadness for 3 minutes? Like, well, now I'm depressed. Thanks for writing this song. And so all of our songs, you'll see this DNA where it's like, okay, they are in it. I always joke, like when you watch a movie, right? And the main character goes through the big problem. Something crazy happens, right? Then it's like, when something crazy happens, you're like, imagine if the movie ended. You'd be like, well, that sucked. I just saw he went through the worst part. Spider-Man. Uncle Ben dies, and then end of the movie. You're like, what the heck was that? You know? But like, don't worry. He uses this experience to become a great superhero.
If you analyze any film of any kind, whether it's Harry Potter or Star Wars, just go look up the hero's journey.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? The hero's journey, every filmmaker, every storyteller, every songwriter knows this, that they have to have the 3-act play. There has to be the setup, the characters, the hardship, the Frodo and the ring. Like you have to have...
Nerd alert.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. Nerd HQ over here. But seriously, it is storytelling at its finest. And music is the best way. You can get that into a 3.5-minute piece.
Yep.
and you have to select and choose every sound, every instrument, every word. It's awesome, and you put your heart into this, your artistry.
We were very selective about it. We were like, hey, this lyric doesn't fit, it's gone. There was no ego with it. It was like, hey, this guitar's too much, or maybe Burke, this vocal's too much, or this emotion's too, and so we just stripped it. And so most songs are around 2 minutes, 45 seconds to about 3:20.
Yeah.
And it's because we were like, we just want to say the main thing, and that's it, you know?
We're much more shorter attention spans as an audience these days. We're a YouTube generation.
Yeah,
I have to watch a 10-second ad. You know, honestly, that's how it is. But you're connecting with those audiences on social media, on, of course, just the music, all the streaming services. Those that are listening, go support these guys. They are just good people doing great things. Tell us where we can follow you. How can we support you?
Support is follow. It's free. Like, just subscribe. Anything on social media that's free, do it. I'm like, follow, like us, comments, you know, just engage with us is the best thing. We always try to respond to everybody because we're brand new and we want to build our tribe, you know. So Allbrook Station, ALLBROOK, and then Station.
Dude, I'm so excited for you. And
thank you.
Tammy, thank you for keeping this guy in check.
Yeah, I'm working.
She's the
on
best.
it.
And your daughter Sam is so cool. Like, you deserve all the success in the world.
I'm a lucky guy, man.
Really, truly. And I pray your luck keeps continuing to go forward because you deserve it. You support these guys, Allbrook Station. They're making huge waves in the music industry. Love that you're here. Come back anytime. As we say, you're my brother from another mother.
Amen.
Thanks for supporting these
Love
guys.
you, man.
Thanks
you.
for listening to Fresh Off the Set. We love you guys too. Hope you have an awesome day. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Congrats, you made it to the end. If you want to continue to freshen up your day, you can watch us on Fresh Living every weekday on CBS Channel 2 in Utah at 1 o'clock. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, KUTV Fresh Living, and follow us on social media. We will see you next week.